Hey everybody, this is James,
Marco,
Nabil,
and Mikey.
And this is the Movie Pals podcast number 226. Today we're doing a special review of the Scary Movie franchise, from the original film to the new release. It's a marathon of all scary movies, basically 1 through 6. So let's get into it. So before we begin, because I didn't want to do this on every single one, I just want to know your history with the Scary Movie franchise. First one came out in 2000, of course. Was this like a film series that you guys have kept on? Did you watch them in theaters? Did you rent it? I'll start with you, Nabil.
I did watch, I think the only one I watched in theaters, to be honest, is Scary Movie 3, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
The other ones I'd seen on video. I was a little young to really catch on with Scary Movie and Scary Movie 2. As far as anything that really stood out, it's not something that I kept up with regularly. I'd probably seen them a couple times, more specifically the earlier ones. The later ones I watched for the sake of completing the other ones, but because I saw the earlier, the first 3. But yeah, it's not something that I have like fond memories of. There are some scenes that do stand out, though, especially the second and third film. But in general, they're just fine to me. So, they were never anything that I held on to from like a cultural relevance or anything like that I quote.
Yeah, cool. What about you, Marco?
Well, I'm an old timer, as you all know, so I saw the first one in theaters when I was 33 years old, back in 2000. I think I've seen all the way up to 3 in theaters, and 4, I could swear I saw it as a DVD rental, and then I never saw 5. But I was pretty into the first 2 because they were really popular back then. And then as they progressed, and we'll talk about it later, I kind of lost interest.
Cool. Mikey, what about you?
I'm pretty sure I've seen the first 4 in theaters. I don't know why I didn't go to 5, but watching them again, maybe a good move
I know
part.
why.
But no, I've seen them all, and I've seen them all probably a couple times. They're movies I just toss on every once in a while and kind of watch out, but I'm not like super addicted to them or anything like that. I've seen them a couple times, far apart from each other.
Yeah, I mean, we rented the first 2. I wasn't even supposed to really watch the first one, I remember, or probably the second one. Pretty raunchy comedy. I remember watching the second one quite a few times. So I think I did see 3 in theaters. I'm not sure, honestly, because like rewatching it again, I think I have it. Maybe the ticket stub still, probably, honestly, but I don't remember entirely. So I probably did, and then I know for certain I definitely saw Scary Movie 4 in theaters for some reason, because that came out like right before I graduated high school. So I'm almost guaranteed I saw that one. 5, I'd never seen 5. The first time seeing that one overall. So quick one, like what stood out to you most during the rewatch? I mean, I'll start with it here too. It's just like a lot of it's really dated, a lot of these. And for me, rewatching them, it was a bit of a chore, honestly, after a bit of time. Like I was kind of like, okay, I get it. And some of them just weren't hitting as well for me. And I mean, there's moments in each one where there's some scary, or not scary, like funny moments in it and all. But overall, specifically, I think there's like a lot of dated references. Like there's some stuff mentioned before that if you weren't around during that time, I think for a modern day viewer, if you've never seen them, might be a little hard to follow along with the inside joke. I'll leave the floor open for you guys. What were your overall kind of thoughts of just what stood out the most during this rewatch of this marathon?
Realizing that the first 10 minutes of each movie is the best part of the movie.
The cold opens, yeah.
Yeah, the cold opens. They're like isolated stories, so they don't need to be much, but they're all solid. Like the first 10 minutes, even of the worst one that I've seen, was the best part of that movie, or the part I remember the most.
Yeah.
So, but I do agree, it's kind of dated.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I was gonna say. Most of the jokes are dated. They're very early-ish 2000s movies where they were up in raunchiness, and that was super in, and that was the whole gag of the movie, and you can tell in these movies.
I also think the what really got me, which I didn't realize, especially with the earlier ones, is how like non-linear the story is. And I mean that in the sense of like there really is no connectedness to anything, and not just from movie to movie, but within the film itself. Things just like, it feels like, especially the early couple films, it feels like a bunch of sketches that they piece together with a loose story, and then they kind of go into more of a through line story in like 3 and 4 a little bit, and even to some extent 5. But even then, like it's a very thin thread of a story, and the sketches, the sketch part of it really isn't as great as the earlier ones in that sense. So there's just like I complain maybe because we've seen so many films, but I complain so much about the editing. Just like we just cut to something really quick, or we just
That's
moved on from it. Like it just
yeah.
bothered me a lot and took me out of it even more. So compared to like the earlier films that this is kind of like spoofing off of, like the David Zucker films of like Airplane and such like that, like at least there's feels more of a through line there where there's a consistency. This just threw that all to the wind and said, here's this little thing, and then we're gonna jump to the next thing, and we're gonna jump to the next thing, and so that bothered me a lot.
That I noticed that the most in the newest one, honestly. So,
Yeah.
you know what? Let's get on with it, guys. Let's start with our review of the Scary Movie franchise. So, first film here is going to be Scary Movie.
Has it crossed your mind that your boyfriend was murdered and you're next?
No way!
They didn't make the rules.
Oh my God, he's dead!
They're just too stupid to follow them.
We have to call the police.
No way! I ain't going to jail. It's okay, I'm fine. We'll get rid of the body.
I'm gonna tell y'all the rules to survive this situation. Rule number 1.
Don't answer the phone.
I'm in the house. Do you know where I am?
You're behind the couch. I can see your feet.
Released in 2000, this is sitting at 52% on Rotten Tomatoes, 43% on Rotten Tomato audience. A year after disposing of the body of a man they accidentally killed, a group of dumb teenagers are stalked by a bumbling serial killer. Directed by Keenan Ivory Wayans, who did I Am Gonna Get You Sucker in 88, A Low Down Dirty Shame in 94, White Chicks in 2004, and Little Man in 2006. This is written by a lot of people, actually. Just to let you know. Sean Wayans, Marlon Wayans, Buddy Johnson, Phil Billman, Jason Friedman, and Aaron Seltzer. On a budget of $19 million, though, this movie made $278 million. So it was a super success. This was released originally on July 7th, 2000. Stars Anna Faris as Cindy Campbell, Marlon Wayans as Shorty Meeks, John Abrams as Bobby Prince, Dave Sheridan as Doofy Gilmore, Regina Hall as Brenda Meeks, Sean Wayans as Ray Wilkins, Shannon Elizabeth as Buffy Gilmore, Lachlan Monroe as Greg Phillip, Sherry O'Terry as Gail Hailstorm, and Curry Fuller as Sheriff Burke. What did you guys think of the first Scary Movie? I'm going to start with you, Nibble.
Oh gosh, let's say that I think I've only seen this film one time.
Really?
So this is the one I've seen the least amount overall. The scene that still stuck out to me was the opening scene, like Mikey was saying. I just mostly from the trailers, but it was also just the thing that I remember the most out of this was Carmen Electra running through the sprinklers. So I was like, oh, as a kid, seeing that and seeing that on a screen or in the trailers and stuff. So that was pretty memorable. The story, again, was kind of loose as a whole. There are some funny bits, I'll give it that. There is some stuff that, like you were saying earlier, James, it's dated, but I did enjoy reminiscing at some of it, like the Budweiser throw up of the WAZZZZUP, was that?
Yeah. Which is funny, but once again, if you weren't around at the time, and now you watch it, you'd be like, why are they doing that, right?
Yeah. So I think some of those scenes kind of, from a nostalgia standpoint, really resonated, but there's a lot more sex jokes than I remembered, and, that bothered me a little bit. I don't think they hold up as well, but, I'm sure they were funny at the time for a lot of people, so I don't know really what to talk about as far as the story is concerned, because, again, it's a parody off of Scream, and
I Know What You Did Last Summer.
I Know What You Did Last Summer. I mean, that's
much
the loose parody of it. Mostly Scream, though. I think they focus more on the Scream with some loose elements of I Know What You Did Last Summer, but they do that okay. I will say one thing that they do well with is they do kind of give each character the trope very, in the sense of like, this is who the killer is going to be, and they reiterate that who the killer is already going to be, and they give you not so subtle hints that this is the killer, and everybody just ignores it until you get to the end, and then
once again, you have to know Scream though to know this, right?
Yeah, so they're already. So I mean, I think that was a good spoof off of that as a whole. So
yeah. What about you, Marco?
I enjoyed it. I think this is one of the ones that I've seen the most. Obviously, I agree with the build. A lot of the jokes haven't aged too well. They lean way too hard on the sex stuff, and sometimes it's just like, okay, try something new. But even though you have to have seen like Scream or I Know What You Did Last Summer, I think I enjoyed it because of that, because exactly what they're making fun of. We recently did the Scream marathon, and I think because we've done that, this was even funnier to me, because I'm just like, man, that is what they pretty much make fun of everything that people would say throughout the actual movie of Scream. It's like, why aren't you suspicious of the boyfriends, or like, why are you totally like walking into this? Things like that I just found funny just because I knew what they were making fun of. But yeah, it's still an early 2000s movie. I disagree that it's not a linear story for the most part. It is following the events of Scream almost verbatim, with the flashbacks being those of I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Yeah.
And truthfully, those are the things that threw me off the most, were the flashbacks of I Know What You Did Last Summer, because it didn't really seem to mesh too well. And I was maybe because I'm more of a Scream fan, I found those spoofs and those jokes a lot funnier than I did the I know what you did last summer stuff.
Yeah, I can see that. What about you, Mikey?
I'm kind of on the same kind of ship that they're sailing here. I mean, I thought a lot of stuff was dated. It does have a lot of sex jokes here. It's just younger Mikey liked them, I guess. Older Mikey maybe not so much as didn't hit as hard, I guess. For this one and a couple of the other ones here, I kind of appreciate like not the skit itself, but like the small dialogue options they have between some of the characters, some of the weird things that are happening. I think it's funnier just the small things that happen. Like you don't even notice it sometimes when you watch it. I've seen the first one a bunch of times. It's the one I've probably seen the most. This one and the second one. I watched it this time and I was like, oh man, I forgot like how random some of the dialogue is. Like when they're pickpocketing the dead guy. It's not actually dead. But it's just like they just have random stuff like that, and it's like, sure, it's something small, but that small stuff like stick with me way more than some of the big skits that they put on. So I kind of like that this one had they had a ton of those scenes in this one here where I just remember them doing it, and just seeing it again just brought back a lot of memories, just the fun times. And it does help that I was around when these movies came out. I was part of the inside crowd as far as I know what all this stuff is, because I was around watching movies at that point. So I'm part of the inside joke with everybody else, unlike some of the people now that are watching it for the first time, maybe.
Yeah, definitely. For me, especially because I saw it when I was like 11, right? So I think it's almost aimed for like younger, like teenage, preteens. I know it's a rated R film, definitely. But it's aimed for that crowd. Because I remember back then, like I thought this was like the funniest movie that ever came out, dude, at the time.
Yeah,
like, I was laughing at everything, and it's just like there's a lot of jokes I didn't pick up because I didn't know everything. And nowadays, now here I'm like, oh, there's a lot more jokes than I thought there was, especially the raunchier ones, where I'm like, I understand what they're implying, And I think, especially for me, like watching it this time around, I just noticed, man, it's shot so shitty too, man. No offense.
Yeah.
So look at the first two; it looks so bad, dude.
Yeah,
like just the shot of it, like it reeks of that early, like late 90s, early 2000s, where like still stuff looked like, I'm like, this is like a TV show nowadays, is the quality, Yeah. I don't know if you guys got that vibe or not. Like,
yeah, definitely.
No, for sure.
And for me, I mean, Officer Doofy is the one that just, for me, even as a kid, hilarious. Probably kind of fucked up nowadays, which, I mean, funny because he's in the new one, but I remember quoting his stuff with my brother like all the time. Kind of, once again, pretty fucked up.
I got poopy.
Yeah, or where he just puts his hand, he's like, "What's this?" He's like, "My ass."
Like see, like, I know it's super fucked up, but the way I see it is they're leaning in hard and making fun of Officer Dewey and Scream. And I think I talked about this with James too. Is a lot of when I first saw Scream, at least in my theater and amongst the people that I knew, nobody liked that guy. Like he really didn't become like quote unquote a hero until like later on when he like came back, or even with the new one. I guess it's sort of like the whole like Jar Jar retrospect thing where a character's super annoying at first, and then down the years you're like,
see, I told you he's not that annoying.
Myself included, a lot of people hated Officer Dewey.
Weird.
So when they made fun of him specifically, like people liked that, and it wasn't. I know he's like, special needs in the movie, and I don't really think they're making fun of special needs people. They're just making fun of him and saying he's a fucking moron. And, people, anybody is smarter than that guy. And why the hell was he law enforcement in the first place?
Well, he wasn't. He was just, well, we're talking about Doofy.
Yeah.
Doofy's
Exactly.
just, he thinks he is, but he's like, when I wear this badge, you got to respect me. And I'm just like, I still was like, I'm still grinning.
His fucking costume, dude.
It's
just the costume alone.
He wrote it on himself, a little badge.
He's got the little badge.
He steals it from me every time, guys. I don't know why. I just think it's fucking hilarious. And when he says, bye, Cindy, every time, I'm just like, fuck, dude. So,
when they're in the office and the dude's like, what's that smell? He's like, I got poopy.
see, some of the jokes still hit for us because we're still, at least 2 or 3 of us are still kind of immature here, still a little bit. So
I rewound that like 3 times.
But like once again, the issue with these is like they have these running jokes that sometimes like Ray's character, like, yeah, we get it. He's got like the gay stuff, right? And it just goes on too much every time. I'm like, oh, that's like his whole character, right? So,
I mean, I enjoyed Ray's one of my more favorite characters in the series because of the not so subtle hints that he's gay.
Yeah,
I thought the innuendos were funny, just playing it off. Especially, it's more because it's being played so, you know, not to make a pun here, but he's playing it very straight in the sense of like, no, I'm not gay at all, and just doing all these things that are, especially even at the end where he's
freaky.
Yeah, he's with the other murderer, and he's telling Bobby, and he's telling him, you know, all the gay things that they did, and he's like, wait, I'm not gay. It's like, yeah, and it just gives him reasons of why that's not gay at all, and it's
he's what like, about the club? I like the music.
You fucked me first. I wanted to go shopping. Dude, when he says but there's more, just like from Scream, when he's got all this bit, I was like, that's a good scene too.
Yeah.
So
the small dick joke is really funny too.
Yeah, dude, that one is.
Who the fuck did this?
That's pretty intense, by the way. Just kind of, I was like, okay. And the fact that he shows them afterwards too is so stupid, right? Like, why would you show everyone? Like, I will say, like, Anna Faris, though, very likable in this one. I think this is one of her first big films. The cast is solid, though. Marlon Wayans is shorty, really funny guy. I mean, I've always liked the Wayans, so, you know, their shit is pretty much hit or miss for me, but I always feel like Marlon Wayans has always been pretty funny. I know he's done some pretty serious roles, too, but this is kind of like his bread and butter, honestly. But
Regina Hall's great as Brenda. I think she always adds something a little extra in all these films. Like, when she's not a part of it, you can tell that something's missing. Her dynamic with Anna Faris throughout each of the series of the film, it really actually pairs well together.
Yeah. So overall ratings, guys, what are you guys going to give Scary Movie? Start with you, Nabil. And would you recommend it as well?
I gave this 2.5 stars. There's some funny elements to it. I think especially as far as entry to the series, I think it's a good entry. But do I think it's worth watching again? No, not unless you were born in the late 80s, early 90s, where you could actually get some of these references.
Or if you're a horror fan.
I guess if you're a horror fan, if you're big into to Scream, or I guess a little bit of I Know What You Did Last Summer, then you'll get some of those references. But a lot of it, even then, like there's even Matrix references and such. So you'd have to have seen a lot of these films to know what they actually mean. So I don't think it's a must watch.
A lot of people did those Matrix references, even Shrek did it. So.
That was the time.
Yeah, was the time. They're like, we like Bullet Time too. Check this out. So, Mikey, what about you?
I give this one 2.5 stars. I agree. It's like, I guess if you're like, you watch a lot of movies, and especially movies around this era, or horror films in general, I think you could have some fun with this one. But I mean, unless you're really wanting to go back and watch it, there's really not a reason to go back that far and watch it.
What about you, Marco?
I go a little higher. I give it a 3. It's funny. I think the movies it makes fun of is iconic, and I think if you're a fan of those movies, you'll enjoy this one, specifically Scream. I think the spoofs that it does on Scream and some of the other movies are pretty spot on. And yeah, I'm with James. Officer Doofy did it for me. I would recommend it, even if you're a movie fan and, like James said, a horror fan, then I would recommend it.
Yeah, as long as you've seen The Usual Suspects, you'll understand.
The very end, yeah.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I give it 3 stars too, honestly. It's probably a little bit of nostalgia playing in, just simpler times back then. And honestly, they don't really make a lot of raunchy comedies anymore. So this one, it was bearable enough. I don't know if it's something that I'd go back to. I mean, last time I saw this probably 20 years ago at this point, maybe longer. So give it a shot. I would say, just like you guys, just kind of repeating the same thing. Just if you're a fan of horror films, especially any 90s slasher films, you probably would find some enjoyment in it.
All right, going into our next review, we're going to move on to Scary Movie 2.
Every day,
There's something going on in this house, Professor.
it grows stronger.
Hey, kitty! pussy.
But at night, it just wants to fool around.
So you want to play, huh? Hey, where you going, little fella?
This came out in 2001. It has a rating on Rotten Tomatoes of 13% with an audience score of 52%. The synopsis is 4 teens are tricked by a professor into visiting a haunted house for a school project. This is once again directed by Keenan Ivory Wayans and written by a whole bunch of people, including the Sean Wayans and Marlon Wayans, Alison Faust, Greg Grabinski, Dave Polsky, Michael Anthony Snowden, and Craig Wayans. The film had a budget of $45 million. It did a box office of $141 million. So not as much as the last, but still pretty good. Again, released in 2001, July 4th. The returning stars, we have Anna Faris back as Cindy Campbell, Marlon Wayans as Shorty, Regina Hall as Brenda, and Sean Wayans as Ray. The new characters that we've added into the series is Chris Masterson. He plays Buddy Sanderson. Kathleen Robinson plays Theo. David Cross comes in as Dwight Hartman. James Woods plays Father McFeely. Tim Curry is Professor Oldman. Tori Spelling as Alex Monday. And Chris Elliott as Hanson. So let's go through quick impressions. We're going to start with you, James. What were your thoughts of this movie?
You know, it's dated too, by the way, this one. And this used to be the one that like, I watched a lot. I don't know why. This was the one, for some reason, I've seen probably the most out of all these.
Maybe it was easier to edit on TV because I've seen this quite a bit as well.
It was probably on Comedy Central, right?
Yeah.
A bit. Even like an edited version. I got you. That makes sense. But
Yeah.
I mean, it was all right. I remember this being a lot better than it was originally. There are some jokes in here that I think hit pretty hard. That beginning scene, the Exorcist kind of parody. Yeah. Especially with James Woods dumping and all the flies. I mean, that one's pretty hilarious. And the, Hanson obviously with the little tiny little caretaker.
His strong hand? You mean a strong hand?
Strong hand. And his interactions are pretty funny. But once again, there's barely a story here. It's parodying House on the Hill, right? Or something like that. And maybe 13 Ghosts a little bit, honestly, right? With the glasses.
Yeah.
Kind of. I kind of got that vibe.
So.
There are moments in it that are funny, but this one for me felt really dated for some reason. I know this one was really rushed out too. It was released within a year, or less than a year, or the last one.
Within the year, yeah.
So they were just kind of cashing in on it. It is very raunchy still. There are some, like I said, standout scenes, but overall, I mean, it was okay. So,
yeah. How about you, Mikey? What were your thoughts on the movie?
I love this one. I don't know why. It's just I've seen it millions of times. It's great. I just like the Exorcist part, like James was saying. That whole scene is just packed with just random funny stuff. While the other stuff, it's super raunchy and stuff here. Even the skeleton, Brenda fighting the skeleton, just doing random stuff like that. I just don't know why. It just hits me the right way, and I think this one's really funny.
How about you, Marco?
I'm kind of with James on this one. This one didn't really age too well for me. And it used to be low-key, I think, my favorite one out of all of them, specifically because of the whole strong hand thing. And, like, I have a thing with my left hand. I can't turn the palm up. So my friends used to call me strong hand because of this movie. And we all just kind of went with the joke, and it was kind of hilarious. Yeah.
It's kind of fucked up.
Yeah, I know.
I was like, okay.
But I used to see this one a lot, and I remember, it would come out on TV too, like super, super fucking censored. But Chris Elliott's Hanson character did it for me, and it was super messed up. But David Cross's character also did it for me because he just like refused to accept his situation, and I think it was just hilarious.
When he goes up that stairs, I can do it.
I don't need your help. The whole like racing part where he's like racing the ghost on the wheelchair, and he flies out the fucking window. That part had me dying. But I feel like this one, and these movies aren't that long. They're like less than an hour and a half. But I felt like this one, because it didn't really age too well for me, like it kind of dragged on a little bit for me. So some of the jokes
I agree.
Just didn't really hit as hard as the first one. I agree with Mikey. The intro with the Exorcist part was funny. And then again, if Hanson wasn't in the scene, then like I was kind of bored, really.
You mean the Nike basketball spoof didn't relate with you still?
That was super dated, dude. Like, I was like, man.
When I saw that, I was like, I forgot all about that commercial. And that would only be something you would remember.
I actually like that part a lot because everybody's really kind of feeling themselves. And I remember that one like vividly. But once again, if you had no idea, you'd be like, what a random part, right?
Right.
But man, I actually laughed during that part because I was like, yeah.
I actually forgot it happened. It's been a while since I've seen all these. Even though I've seen this one a million times, I forgot they even had that portion in it. So I saw it, I was like, oh yeah. It still hit me. It's still pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of the same page with all of you guys. I actually did like this one more than watching the first Scary Movie as a replay, but Hanson, the caretaker, he's my favorite character in this film. He's just every scene he's in is hilarious. He really lingers in on the whole, like the dinner scene where he's basting the turkey and serving all the food is hilarious.
My germs.
Yeah.
I think for me though, like specifically, that's like the only like funniest sketch to me. Like the rest of the movie, I'm like, it's like watching these back to back, a few of them like even a day apart. Like a lot of this shit's blending together, man.
It does, yeah.
I had
It's
that
hard for
problem.
me to even remember this one at this point. I'm like, fuck. There's like a Charlie's Angels scene, I think, in this one, right?
There's a
Yeah,
Charlie
that's this one.
Angels
Yeah.
fight
Oh,
scene at the
yeah.
end. I did like the fight scene with Anna Faris and the black cat. That was kind of funny. And then I also enjoyed the scene where Shorty became a giant blunt, and he said to hold on a second because he was really about to get high as they were going through. So there's a lot of scenes, and like what you were saying, Marco, about David Cross's character where he's going up the stairs to himself, like those kind of scenes, they linger on it longer, and those are the funnier scenes that they linger on, all these little bits. But there's a lot of the quick gags that they put in that just don't land. So to that sense, for me, yeah, there's a lot of it that is just throwaway, and I don't think it's funny at all. But the ones that they do know are going to hit, they spend a lot of time, and that does kind of also, at a certain point, kind of lose its runway, and you do start feeling like, okay, when are we going to get to the next one? Because this is one of the films that I think felt like had even worse cuts to the next scene, where it felt more like a sketch, because it just abruptly moves to the next thing. It's like, I don't even know, like there was no transition. We just shifted to something else that's completely out of nowhere, and like, okay, I guess we're just onto this now. So that was a big like shock, where you just like out of whatever the comedy was, and then had to go and move on to whatever this story thing that they're trying to put together.
Did that even happen? Or
right, you don't even know if it's real or if
there's
it's
no reaction to that at all. Oh, okay, I mean, Shorty, you just got smoked, bro. Like, but now you guess you're fine now.
It's fine now. Yeah. So I think that's what really kind of has taken me out a bit. So I know we all kind of said it's a bit dated. Mikey, you were talking about the cold open with Exorcist. Did anything else kind of relate to you in regards to the other spoofs, like the haunted house, or even some of the slasher parts of the movie?
Well, I agree with you guys here. You talked about Hanson and Dwight. I love the scene where they're together, and he's like, well, I would give him a standing ovation.
Yeah.
I would give him a big hand. And they're just going back and forth. And yeah, it does linger. Like you guys said, it goes on for a while. They do like way too many jokes, but it's just going back. Anytime those two characters are on the screen, I'm chuckling. I'm at least getting a small laugh about them. So everything they do is good on those ones there. I don't think the haunted house aspect of things worked as well as the first movie with Scream stuff. The slasher kind of works better for the scary element of things. And it's also better for the parody stuff too. I thought they did the parody stuff a lot better in the first film.
And the other parts of the film, just as an open question, do you thought was funny or really stood out to you in this movie?
Again, just with Hanson when he's reaching to grab the guy and he's like, grab the strong hand. He's like, no, give me the other hand. I can't. That's the weak hand. And the dude would rather fall than grab his hand.
Grab his hand.
You mentioned the cat fight, but I love that she's like, wait. I know you're mad at me because I took a shit in your litter box. He's like, what? The cat's like has a crazy face on his face.
And then they cut to the shit, by the way.
It reminded me of the boys. Oh, man.
Yeah, I agree. So those are kind of the scenes that really kind of stick out, where they do linger on these gag jokes. But again, to your point, James, like a lot of it is just,
I mean, some of the subtle ones, like when they have the glasses on and they look at what they do in the wheelchair, and he has the cum around his mouth, and he's like, "Oh, what? Are my glasses crooked?" Like
I completely forgot about why that even happened. Yeah, the whole him going. He's like, I could do it myself.
Yeah, but see, once again, that was too corny for me in that scene. But the scene after, it was like, that's funny because it's kind of gross, and it's like, oh, what's wrong, And they're like, ugh.
One of the few times they do a callback within it, because the other scenes you don't know are actually connected, and this one's like, oh look,
one of the few. There you go. Yeah, there you go.
All right. It doesn't sound like we have much more that we want to add on this. So we'll go to overall ratings. I'll go with you, Marco. What did you rate this film and would you recommend it?
I give this one 2.5 stars. You don't really have to unless you're going on a binge and watching these movies like we did. Again, I don't really think the references hit that much, and it's just the few characters that we talked about that really make the movie worth it. So, yeah, you can probably skip it.
James, how about you?
You know, I originally rated this 3, but the more we talk about it, the more I don't like this movie. I'm going to go 2.5 as well. Yeah, it's just really mid on this one. I don't see myself coming back to this one again, which is like Marco said, which is crazy because at one point this was like my favorite scary movie.
Sure. Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, I think it's just too dated, honestly.
Mikey?
I knocked it down a little bit. I was going to give it 3.5, but I think I'm going to give it 3. You guys brought up some stuff. I mean, like I said, I kind of like the movie. I liked it a lot here. And then you guys talking about it, bringing up some of the datedness and like how they cut the scenes and they're not related. Made me realize I probably should cut it down a little bit here. So I give it 3 stars.
Okay.
I got to mention, too, one of the worst looking ones, too. How it's shot.
Visually, which is odd, but
you can tell. Like it was.
For a sequel, you think it would be better, but yeah.
Bigger budget, too, right? This one had much bigger budget than the first one.
A lot of static scenes where it's just like, here's the shot. We're not going to do any angles.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
I know that's super, pretentious, but it super stuck out to me.
Yeah. Well, and so I gave this film 2.5 stars as well. That's part of the reason why I do like some of the jokes. I think they land a little bit better, in my opinion, or at least stuck with me longer. But the film is still crap. Like the editing, the especially that throws it away. But the shots, like you said, James, there's a lot of just from a practical standpoint, and the story is just nothing. So all that is like, would I recommend the movie? If you're trying to go back and watch the earlier films, I'd say to watch this over one personally. But again, it's the same thing as the first one. If you don't know these references, you're not going to really get much from it, except for maybe if you've got some of the toilet humor that we all have here to enjoy a couple bits of it. So I wouldn't say it's a strong recommendation out the gate.
All right. And with that, we move on to Scary Movie 3.
A mysterious crop circle appeared in local farmer Tom Logan's cornfield.
Oh, come on. You know those things are just a hoax.
Call it women's intuition or ESPN or both, but I can tell when danger's near. I just...
3 times the suspense.
What if the aliens could take over human bodies?
It could be any one of these people.
Move slowly toward the exit. It's happening. I knew it. You'll never take me alive. She's scrambling my brain.
Scary Movie 3 came out in 2003, sitting at 35% on Rotten Tomatoes for the critic score and 54% for the audience score. The plot for this one is Cindy must investigate a mysterious crop circle and videotapes and help the president in preventing an alien invasion. Just a quick mention, there's actually 2 versions of this movie. There's Scary Movie 3 and Scary Movie 3.5, which is basically the unrated version. And that's the version that we saw, the unrated version, or 3.5. Or if you're like me and you were really curious to see what the differences were, you watched both of them. So this one's directed by David Zucker, who did Airplane in 1980, Top Secret in 1984, The Naked Gun in 1988, and Basketball in 1998. This one's written by Craig Mazin and Pat Croft, had a budget of $48 million and made $220.7 million at the box office, so quite a success. Again, released October 24th in 2003, and it stars with the returning characters are Anna Faris, returning as Cindy Campbell, Regina Hall, returning as Brenda Meeks, and those are the only returning characters because this is kind of where the series veered away from the Wayans brothers, or how they say it was snatched from their hands, which it kind of was. New characters here are Anthony Anderson as Mahalik, Leslie Nielsen as President Baxter Harris, Simon Rex as George Logan, Daryl Hammond as Father Muldoon, Kevin Hart as CJ Is, D.L. Hewley as John Wilson, Ja Rule as Agent Thompson, and Charlie Sheen as Tom Logan. So again, we're going to go through our first impressions and brief thoughts of the movie, and I'll go ahead and start with James.
You know, it's funny. I actually really like this movie. Just so you know. Most people don't, but for some reason, this one really hits me. It might be because David Zucker directed it, and I'm a huge fan of like The Naked Gun, Top Secret, Airplane. So it has more of that kind of feel. Plus, this is the first one to start at PG-13, so I think that's why it did so well too, honestly.
Yeah.
But This one's story for me, at least. I don't know. The jokes hit better. It's shot a lot better, honestly.
I think the linear story helped a lot too.
Yeah, I think there's more of a plot in this one where it actually follows through with something. And there's a lot more scenes in this that I remember a lot more than the previous two. Like they stood out, and they're not, and it's not, and it doesn't really, it does, don't get me wrong, there's still some raunchy humor. Like, I mean, Father Muldoon's scene is hilarious. How he shows up and he's like, brought some wine, and the kid's like hiding and stuff like that. And I actually think the little kid's hilarious too. He's like, he knows everything that's going on, and he's like, don't, like, he points to the pregnant kid. He's like, your son's gonna be an asshole, and then, or he's like, he doesn't know you're a man, you know, stuff like that. It's just little things like that. And I don't know. It kind of works for me. It's parodying a lot of different things too. It's mostly obviously based around The Ring and Signs. So as long as you kind of know those two main movies, but then it even veers into like 8 Mile a bit and such like that. So there's a lot of scenes in this one that I actually really enjoy. For the most part, this one worked for me. I was feeling pretty burned out after the first two, but watching this one, I was like, all right, cool. So yeah, it worked for me.
What about you, Mikey? How did you feel about Scary Movie 3.5?
Yeah, I think this is the one I remembered the least out of all of them. And I agree with James on most of the stuff he said here. So I really enjoyed it. This one does have a little bit better storyline through everything, kind of flows a little bit better. The other one kind of sticks to its things. But I guess also when you think about it, like The Ring, the concept of it is a little bit easier to kind of work around compared to something else with like ghosts and such, where it's like one static location. You can pretty much go anywhere with The Ring or Signs. They're kind of more open. So I think that helped the movie kind of move along a little bit. But just with Simon Rex and the whole rap battle stuff, I mean, just ridiculous stuff. They had the where this is where they start with Anthony Anderson starts doing like the whole rat versus mouse thing, inside outside. I think that was in this one here. But like even if it wasn't this one, he has another scene like that. It's just like random stuff that just like off the wall talks that they have to do. It just worked for me too. This one just had a lot of jokes that kind of stuck with me and kind of felt good, and they just worked.
Nice. Nabil, what about you? What were your thoughts of Scary Movie 3.5?
Yeah, I'm on the same page as everybody. I enjoyed this one way more than I did the other two. I think the additional characters of Mahalik and CJ Kevin Hart and Anthony Anderson, their interaction. At first, I wasn't so sure. I couldn't remember exactly how their interactions were, but they were in the film much more than I remember. And they were great as a pair. So they really helped bring a lot more to the comedy. I really thought that Leslie Nielsen coming into this film out of nowhere was also great.
I can only assume David Zucker.
Yeah, I would think it's because of the director, of course. But like just him being the president and then the idiocy of him as a president. And there's even a little callback at the end of an airplane scene as they're dealing with the ring witch or whatever she is. Yeah.
He literally kind of said, I just want you all to know, we're all counting on you.
Yeah. So I think all that's great. The way they make even the spoof aspect of it, the way they make fun of the ring. Like there's a scene where they show the full Ring video and they show these like weird images. And in the movie they have, the actual ring, they show weird images. But in this one, it's obviously played up. But like an example, the ring is supposed to look like a toilet, opening of a toilet hole, and it goes like hilarious. Like they play it up way better. So they don't. It
takes a double look too.
Yeah, it looks bad. There's a scene with Brenda fighting with the ring woman, which is great. Also, the funeral scene with them Mahalik trying to revive Brenda, which is so funny. So there's just a lot more here that they know where the strengths are, and I think that might be the testament to the director and maybe some of the writers, but they really know where to play up the gag jokes. And even with it being a PG-13 film, you didn't have to lean in too much to the raunchy aspect of it, and still I feel like it was just a much more enjoyable film overall. And again, like to what James said, there's a through line to the story. There's an A to Z, and I could follow the plot. And it's like, okay, everything kind of works with each other.
It's hilarious because like it doesn't rely as much on those raunchiness. Just even like Simon Rex's character telling like his niece is like everyone you know is dead. Yeah. Or like when Charlie Sheen has his flashback and the guy that like killed his wife is like, I'm gonna need a ride home.
Or she gets the simple gag of her getting a bigger hat.
To the dancing Mexican
hat. The hat every time just getting larger and larger. And just keeps something weird
those
going on.
Subtle gags are going in. Like those are, I think that's more of the director's expertise. But yeah, those things kind of are subtle jokes that play in throughout the film that you don't have to think about. And then once you realize it's happening, you're like, oh, that's really funny.
Yeah.
I'm with you guys. This is probably the one I've seen the most next to the first one. Actually, no, I've probably seen this one more than the first one, and I really enjoyed this one. And I think Leslie Nielsen definitely did it for me as the president. That scene, man, it's iconic in my mind because it's just so freaking bonkers. And the comedy just hits. I agree with Mikey that Mahalik and CJ, their little discussions back and forth, mouse is inside, rats are outside type thing was hilarious.
So does a mouse become a rat when it goes outside?
Yeah. You can't show up. You can't wake up dead, but can you fall asleep? That was so dumb. And Simon Rex, he was a great addition to this. He's just hilarious. He plays it so well. And I think it's just the fact that they don't lean too hard into the jokes. It's just they play it straight, and the jokes don't overstay their welcome too much. Some of them do, but not by much. And I think that's what helps it a lot is they allow some breathing time between the jokes. They hit really well. They're executed perfectly. And the two movies they chose, I agree, they're perfect to spoof, especially because this is where M. Night Shyamalan was really big and he was very popular among Hollywood, and it's hilarious to make fun of his movies. Going a little bit on the characters, I know we talked a few, but any thoughts on some of the characters you guys have to say additionally? Any of them that kind of stood out the most for you guys?
I mean, I already talked about Anthony Anderson, but man, when he does the shotgun shovel and he loads it, or when he hits the alien's head off and he's like, dude, I found their weakness. They're powerless without their heads. Just the small stuff that he added was just top notch throughout the whole film. I liked it.
Or when the gangsters start, killing everybody.
Yeah.
And then fucking after they die, fucking Leslie Nielsen's like, these men all died for their country, sent flowers to their bitches and hoes.
I gotta say, for me, definitely was Leslie Nielsen. And he's looking around the room, is all paranoid. He's like, it could be anybody. And then he just starts decking everyone in the face. And he grabs the girl and fucking headbutts her. Jerry's kid's my ass. Dude, I watched that scene multiple times because I could not stop laughing.
That's at the Mother Teresa fucking
Yeah.
That's messed up, dude. Everyone he's looking at, it just has some kind of condition. He's just leaning really hard into it. I'm like, fuck, dude. Ja Rule just going with it too and saying, I got you, sir, with the shotgun and blowing a hole through the wall. Let's move into our ratings of Scary Movie 3.5. We'll start with Mikey. What do you rate this movie?
I give this one 3. I thought I liked it. Actually, I'll give it 3.5 because talking about it with you guys made me like it a little bit more. Unlike 2, which made me look a little bit less. But I'll bump this one up a little bit.
We're swaying up. Swaying you.
Nabil, what do you rate Scary Movie 3.5?
I'm actually in the same boat as Mikey. I was going to give this a 3, but after talking about it more, at 3.5 stars. I enjoyed this. I would definitely recommend it too, because I feel even though, as long as you've seen The Ring and the Signs, a lot of the references in general are easy to kind of jump into. There isn't a lot of specific time period like commercial parodies and things like that. You can, as long as you've seen some of these films, you could probably catch on pretty quickly.
Makes sense. And James, what do you rate the movie?
It's hella funny. I gave it a 3 too, but now that I talked about it more, like this is probably one of the best ones in the series to me. This is a 3.5. Highly recommend this one. Check it out.
We're gonna hit the quadfecta here. I also give it a 3.5. It was between actually a 2.5 and 3. I was like, maybe I'm rating it, too high, but you know what? I really did enjoy this one. I'd probably watch this one again, and I do recommend this one. Even though it's the third one in the installment, you don't really have to watch the first two to understand this one.
Nothing connects.
Yeah, nothing connects. You can really just watch this one, and we really do recommend 3.5. You have to rent that one, as the other ones are available for free on Paramount Plus if you have subscription. But I think it's worth a rental.
Yeah, just like when Brenda dies and she clearly is dead. She's like, "Are you all right?" Or the mom is like, "She looks so peaceful," and then she's just like this.
All right, Scary Movie 4.
Did you see the tripod?
This spring,
They're in every major city all over the world.
When the worlds are at war.
A girl had a pet duck.
Mr. President, the planet is under attack by aliens.
Well, I'll handle that in a minute. Right now, I want to see what happens with the duck.
More people will die.
You mean right now all of these children's parents could be dead?
This one released in 2006. It is currently sitting at 34% Rotten Tomatoes for critics and 51% for audience. The plot is Cindy finds out a little boy haunts the house she lives in, and she goes on a quest to solve his murder. This one's also directed by David Zucker, written by Craig Mazin, Jim Abrahams, Pat Proft. Had a budget of $40 million, and box office was $178.7 million. This was released on April 14th of 2006, and the returning characters of Anna Faris as Cindy, Regina Hall as Brenda, Anthony Anderson as Mahalik, Leslie Nielsen as President Baxter Harris, Simon Rex as George, Kevin Hart as CJ Is, Charlie Sheen as Tom Logan, and new characters Craig Burko as Tom Ryan, Bill Pullman as Henry Hale, Bo Murchoff as Bobby Ryan, Conchita Campbell as Rachel Ryan, Chris Elliott as Ezekiel, and Carmen Electra as Holly. So let's go around and just get some brief thoughts first, and we will start with Nabil.
Oh, well, however the high was in the last film, this did not carry over with the same people in the next film. Like this is quite a few steps down from what we came from in Scary Movie 3. This is focused on the War of the Worlds and The Grudge, I think is the biggest thing. And this is one of those films, Mikey, that you were saying where the cold open's the star. Cold open is the star of this film, for sure. The Shaq and Dr. Phil interaction of Saw.
Yeah.
That was probably the funniest thing there. There were a few funny things. I think like the reference with Carmen Electra, I chuckled a couple times because of her character, and she was in the church or whatever it is in the village setup. Like there were a couple of things there that I maybe had slight chuckles on, but nothing made me laugh more than really just that opening scene. So I did not care much for what was going on in this movie.
Okay, Marco, how'd you feel?
Kind of the same with Nabil. This one, is definitely kind of a letdown compared to the previous installment. I don't think the jokes hit as hard, which is kind of sad because War of the Worlds is, you think a movie you're going to make fun of is a big deal. Steven Spielberg directed that one and it was quite a success, but it just didn't really do it. And it nothing to do with Craig Bierko, because I think there are some scenes where he's pretty hilarious, like when he's all covered in dust and he's spitting it out after the aliens just freaking destroyed everyone, and how he keeps like injuring his daughter because he's like he's the shitty dad, kind of like Tom Cruise in War of the Worlds. But the rest of the movie, they try to insert some more M. Night Shyamalan in this with The Village, and it just doesn't go too well. I feel like those are the most boring parts of the movie, and I feel like it drags on too long. Yeah, so if you exert that and you just focus on the War of the Worlds part, it probably could have been like pretty decent. But yeah, I just don't think that it really hit.
And James, how'd you feel?
Yeah, same thing. This one was right back where I was like, fuck, this is like a drag to get through. It's only like an hour and 10 minutes, right? But it's just not as funny. To me, the whole War of the Worlds thing was just kind of a weird one to do. But I get it. They're trying to just, the funniest scene, I think, is at the mid-credit scene, or where he's like acting like Tom Cruise on the Oprah show.
Which feels like a filler just to pad the runtime is what that
Yeah,
felt like.
It does, but it was funny because remember during that time this had happened, and it was pretty hilarious of what they were showing off. And I mean, once again, though, I think Leslie Nielsen kills it in this movie. He's just hilarious. They're kind of parodying like the 9/11 Bush thing where they come up to him to tell him the fucking aliens. But he's like, hey, man, they're all going to die, but this duck's got a fighting chance. And then, like, at the UN speech, she's just like, hey, I started out with a joke. What's the difference between a Belgian and a lump of dog shit? And everyone's just, like, staring at her.
Dude, the Belgians were so fucking pissed. I was fucking dying.
Like, those are, like, the funniest moments. And honestly, I do like the scenes where they're pairing The Grudge of us, how, like, ridiculous it is. With like the little boy, and they're Anna Faris is talking quote unquote Japanese to him, but she's just quoting like Japanese products and like items and cars, and that's all they're saying. Yeah, Toshiba, Sony.
And then they flash it back, and they fucking say the words again.
So there's little parts of that do like that worked for me, but for the most part, it's a slog to get through. Even the village scenes, it's trying to be raunchy, and you know, like obviously Carmen Electra's back, and she's like the blind chick that's from the village, right? But she's obviously like super hot, and she's just showing him she thinks she's in the bathroom, and it's just like a fart or a shit joke, right? So it just doesn't hit though, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Though when Chris Elliott as Ezekiel says the prayer, I kind of chuckle.
Yeah, I did too. But once again, he's playing a kind of person again, where I was like, does this make me laugh? Am I a bad person? I was like,
no, I think everyone had critiques of Adrian Brody playing a special needs person in The Village, and they're just hammering hard on that. And I think it just works just because of that.
Well, I think also in this one, you're kind of struggling to find something that's funny. Like, I talked about the other one, like in The Ring and Signs, they were kind of open and you had a lot to work with. And I feel like War of the Worlds could have been the same way, right? But this one just wasn't handled the same way. And it just didn't work with a lot of stuff they were trying to do. And you're sitting there just waiting for something funny to happen. So anything that's like somewhat funny, you're just kind of attaching to. I did like the whole $1 Million Baby thing, although it lasts like 20 minutes too long. But like everybody's breaking their necks when they're falling over. I thought that was kind of fun. The Brokeback Mountain thing with Anthony Anderson.
Oh, that
Kevin
one
Hart
is hilarious.
was hilarious. That's super good.
I'm not on the down low or anything.
I'm just grabbing some nuts.
There is an unrated version of this movie, by the way. It's only available physically, just to let you know. And that scene is extended in that one.
Oh man, I might have to try to find it then, just to see what
it's
it is.
It's $10 on Amazon. Just
well, it might be worth $10. We'll see.
I didn't want to put us having to watch it, but I didn't think it was going to change anything. So
yeah, but a lot of this stuff just didn't work for me. Like I think it was pretty much everybody said it just nothing really hit hard and made me like remember stuff. I'm actually looking at this one here trying to think, because we watched these all in like a week and a half or so. I'm actually forgetting a lot of this movie already, and I literally just watched it like 7 days ago. So
Mikey Sames.
What kind of going on? Did you guys like any of the new characters? I think we kind of talked a little bit about them. Did anybody got anything else they want to add about that?
Charlie Sheen's death in that cold, I guess that's the cold opening, right? Technically.
Yeah, kind of.
Pretty hilarious. Where he's trying to kill himself. It's, making fun of the Grudge and takes the wrong pills. Little things like that.
How he dies is pretty funny.
Yeah, just head, not even head first. Well, technically head first, right?
Technically head first. Yeah.
Yeah. But outside of that, it's pretty forgettable, man. Honestly,
well,
it is the first one shot in HD, though. I'll say that much.
Yeah,
and they do replace him with Craig Bierko, and he's got the same name. He's just Tom, and it's also playing off of I assume Tom Cruise as well. But
oh yeah,
he's just a stand. Like they could have just had Charlie Sheen or even Simon Rex play this guy, but I guess they felt they wanted to have the new person in for some reason. So I don't think Tom Ryan really brought anything more to it than Simon Rex could have. If anything, Simon could have probably done more. But I guess they wanted a change.
For me, I think Anna Faris and Regina Hall kind of take a backseat a little bit too in this one. Like I like them through the other ones. The other ones are all like the main characters that kind of make this franchise, I think. And this one, they just kind of fall off. I don't really think they did anything special in this one.
Bill Pullman wasn't that bad. I think he did good for what he had. Like the look on his face when Ezekiel does the prayer, he's just sort of like annoyed. He's like, "Gee, thanks." Yeah. Or when his daughter Holly is taking his shit in the church, and he's just mortified that she's fucking doing it. And then the story when he recants the tale of how his family died, they all died at the boxing match.
Yeah, right. It was part of it where Mike Tyson was biting everyone's ears off.
He had a big pile of them.
Yeah, just constant bite off, spit.
Well, I mean, we kind of talked about all the stuff. We're kind of bashed on the movie already here. Does anybody have anything else they want to talk about before we get to overall ratings?
Just to add that I don't understand how, like, there's no story here again, but Jigsaw is supposed to be the main villain, and he just forgives Cindy, I guess, and those machines stop attacking everybody. It's like, yay!
It's so great. Corny, man. I'm like, oh
it just stops. Dude. So I was like, oh my gosh, it's like not even a little try of. At least the other films tried to have a little twist at the end, like they just stop everything and say, okay, the movie's over.
Yeah,
I do agree. The cold open did have the funniest scene because Dr. Phil cuts the wrong leg off.
Wrong
Shaq
foot.
Can't make a three. Shaq can't make a free throw for shit.
But once again, you'd have to know that, right?
Right.
You'd have to be around during the time. Like he was always known for being a really shitty free throw shooter.
Right.
If you hadn't seen that back then, you'd probably not know that. You're like, what's that big deal? Because he's a basketball player?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, let's get to our ratings so we can just move on. So, we'll start with Marco. Your rating and would you recommend?
I give it 2 stars, and I don't really think I could recommend this one. I mean, unless again you're going on the journey like we did, and you're trying to be a completionist, you can skip this one.
James?
Yeah, 2 stars for me too, man. This is like I said, there are some moments like they're like Leslie Nielsen, but he kind of kills it in everything he's in. But yeah, this is a skip. This is not a good movie.
Bill?
Same, 2 stars. There's nothing more to add to recommending watching this film. It's not worth your time.
Yeah, we got the quad effect on this one too, because I gave it 2 stars, and I do agree. You can skip this one. You don't have to watch it at all.
On to Scary Movie 5.
In this family,
Who's the cutest baby in the world? Little baby Aiden. Oh, jeez.
something paranormal is happening.
I feel like there's something in this house. Babe, I heard something.
There's nothing to worry about. It's just... Man, that's a lot of pain.
And the only way to stop the activity
Blaine Folder, professional psychic. I'm gonna have to get some of your personal belongings here. It's just so I can run them for ghost and demon residue. Hey, this is stealing.
This has a 4% on Rotten Tomatoes and a 38% on the audience score. A couple begin to experience some unusual activity after bringing their lost nieces and nephew home. With the help of home surveillance cameras, they learn they're being stalked by a nefarious demon. This one is directed by Michael D. Lee. He did The Best Man Holiday in 2013, Girls Trip in 2017, Night School in 2018, and Space Jam: A New Legacy in 2021. Written by David Zucker and Pat Proff, this was budgeted at $20 million. It made $78.4 million in the box office. Released on April 12th, 2013. Stars Ashley Tisdale as Jodie Sanders, Simon Rex as Dan Sanders, Erica Ash as Kendra Brooks, and Charlie Sheen as Charlie Sanders. Brief thoughts on it here. Nabil, started us out.
You forgot Lindsay Lohan in this film, who's with Charlie Sheen. That's
I just went over.
Yeah, I mean,
sure.
that to that point, she's not even that memorable, right? Like that's the only part. So, what do I think about the film? It's terrible. There is nothing redeeming about this film at all. Are there a couple of maybe funny bits here and there? Sure, but it's more silly, if anything. I don't like the fact that they brought Simon Rex in to play somebody completely different, because it's like, what was the point of that? And then, of course, we have Ashley Tisdale, who's standing in for Anna Faris, I guess, in some way. Could have at least had Regina Hall and Anna Faris back in this film. But yeah, I mean, I don't... This is a parody on Paranormal Activity and the movie. I forgot. Mama.
Black Swan.
I think
Black Swan, too.
Black Swan is also in there, and Mama. And I was like, man, I forgot all about that movie until this one. So there, I don't know. I feel they really try to do the found footage thing, but even that part was like, there's no connection to a lot of the story, stuff that does happen. You don't really know if anybody realized what was going on. I think Simon Rex being used as a stand-in for just the punching bag for all the hits and the physical comedy that was going on. I think he was funny in that sense, like just him in general. I think that's just more Simon Rex. But from a film perspective, like I don't know of any really good thing about it, to be honest, that I could say.
Yeah, Mikey, what about you?
Yeah, this one's not good. I mean, I can't even say like a joke that I'm like the other ones. At least I found something that was funny. I didn't think that was much stuff in this one was funny. I think they tried to do too much. Like just saying like, hey, this one follows Paranormal Activity and Mama would have been enough. Then you have some Black Swan. They did a Planet of the Apes thing. There was Inception. There was all kinds of movies in this one here, and they could have focused a little bit more on just a one, and I think that would have helped out a little bit. But I think they just tried to do too much with it, and nothing really hit at all in this movie. I didn't think Ashley Tisdale was good at all. Like just didn't do anything for me. Like Anna Faris by far in a way was better in her movies than Ashley Tisdale was in this one. So I really don't have anything super redeeming in this movie at all. Snoop Dogg scene in the very beginning and the very end, pretty funny. But other than that, I didn't really like anything else.
What about you, Marco?
This movie's terrible, dude. Yeah, I agree with you guys. This had probably the worst cold open too. Like I disagree, Mike. I don't think it was funny at all. Like,
I agree.
Their acting was fucking terrible, dude. And I was just like, oh my God, is this the first take? Because this is just bad. And you could tell it was just easy money for them. They just came in, filmed it one hour, bounced. I think the freaking monkey was the funniest thing because the suit just looked fucking ridiculous. He just had this freaking face the whole time, and I was like, could have done a little bit more with that, but you know, I get it, whatever. There's one scene where Cat Williams comes in to like exorcise the demon or whatever. I think that was hilarious because he ends up stealing all their money. He's just a con artist, and I think that was probably the funniest scene in the movie. And that's
I'll have my crew come in with the white van.
Yeah, Ashley Tisdale, I agree. She tried her best, but I think she plays it a little too straight. Anna Faris, she has way better facial expressions, and I think she just sells it. She sells the part and just knows how to make it funny. But yeah, didn't really work for me, guys.
Yeah, this might actually be one of the worst movies I've ever seen. Honestly, this is up there, guys. It is up there. The cold opening, I thought. I mean, yeah, you know, rest in peace of Mac Miller, but God, and it dragged on for so long. I was like, dude, what are you guys just talking? Like, I don't care about any of this shit, dude. I can't think of. I told Mikey, I thought the funniest thing were the bloopers at the fucking mid credit scene or whatever, dude. Those are the funniest parts of that whole movie. Just because it's like, oh, they have some emotion. What do you know? You know.
And I responded with, I didn't even know there was mid credit scenes because as soon as it was over, I turned it off.
You turned that shit. There's even a post credit scene.
I almost skipped it, Mikey. I almost
post credit scene too.
I struggled with this one.
There could have been like good things out of this. Honestly, I thought the guy that was playing like Leonardo DiCaprio from Tenet. Oh, not Tenet, for fucking Inception. I thought he was actually kind of funny. He was the only guy, probably. Just because he looked like him and he did the squinty eye thing at one point. Yeah. It was like, that kind of worked for me, honestly.
Yeah.
That's like the only thing, probably, honestly. But it was so random because then they go into like 50 Shades of Grey or all these things. It is a terrible movie, though, man, honestly. So, and I think... I mean, maybe like the Hispanic lady that was also like the nanny was kind of funny at times too, just because there's things that go on in it, but it's dumb. This is a terrible movie. There's nothing redeeming about this. And honestly, I forgot. I didn't even know this movie came out. Honestly, so
yeah, I remember there were two things that I noted that I thought that caught me off guard. There was a Black Swan sex scene where Ashley Tisdale's with Erica Ash, and they're showing the innuendo images of them like having lesbian sex. But what I thought was funny, the one thing that threw me off was that they were showing a tunnel, and then it looked like it was gonna be a train that crashed into it, but it's just another tunnel. And that caught me off guard. I thought that was hilarious. And then there was the Cabin in the Woods Evil Dead thing where they kept saying the curse by reading the book, and then they turned out and the kids were going on and off as being demons and killing each other. Like,
it goes on too long,
but it went on. Yes, but it went on too long. Yeah,
it's like, dude, don't do it 3 times. That's insane. Yeah. Like, what? We got it the first 2. I mean, there's really nothing else to talk about this movie, guys. Let's just get to our ratings. Nabil, let's start with you.
Can I give this 0 stars? I gave it a ½ star on Letterboxd because that's as low as it could go. But if I could give it 0, I probably would.
Do a half.
But yeah, I give it ½ stars. It's bad. Don't watch it.
Mikey, what about you?
Also gave it ½ star. I think we said enough about it. Don't watch it.
Marco?
You know, I was told before that we weren't allowed to do ½ stars, so I was originally giving it 1, but I'm going ½ star also. And if I could do 0 stars, I would. You can skip this movie. It's only an hour and 26 minutes long. It felt like 4 hours to me. So, yeah.
I think it's only an hour and 15 before credits.
I was going off what IMDb said.
Yeah. I give it a ½ star. This is a terrible film. Not funny at all. They really lost it here, as you can tell. There's a reason why they didn't make one for 13 years, since that movie. So, avoid this movie. It's terrible.
And with that, we're going into the 2026 film, Scary Movie, or Scary Movie 6.
Mom, Santa gave me a severed arm. Be sure to thank him.
What the? I had been preparing for this for years.
Hello, Mother. You look like shit.
Be back.
There's a serial killer on the loose.
I'm just so happy that the old gang is back together.
I can't feel my face.
Bro, you cook, son.
So this is a film that came back to the Wayans brothers, sitting at a 23% on Rotten Tomatoes, with a 68% on Rotten Tomato audience score. So the premise here is 2 friends find themselves caught up in the mayhem involving killers, monsters, and supernatural creatures once again. This one was directed by Michael Titus, who did A Haunted House and A Haunted House 2. as well as 50 Shades of Black. This film was written by Marlon Wayans, as well as Sean Wayans and Keenan Ivory Wayans, Craig Wayans, and Rick Alvarez. So the film had a budget of $30 million. And at the time of writing this, it was about over $7 million, but I think it's much higher at this point.
It's at 106 right now.
Yeah, I think it's
Maybe
definitely
even
making its money back. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it's actually a franchise record, by the way, for the highest.
Oh, really?
This is the most successful one
for opening
weekend.
Yeah.
Yep.
So this film did come out on June 5th of this year and is currently in theaters. So this sees the return of Marlon Wayans' character Shorty Meeks, as well as Sean Wayne's character Way Wilkins. Anna Faris comes back as Cindy Campbell, and Regina Hall comes back as Brandy Meeks. We also have Greg Wayans, who plays Brad Meeks. Cameron Scott Roberts plays Jack. Sherry Terry plays Gail Hailstorm, who's back from the previous film. Chris Elliott plays Shorthand. Dave Sheridan plays Doofy Gilmore once again. Lachlan Monroe comes back as Greg Felipe. Olivia Rose Keegan plays Sarah Campbell. And Sydney Park plays Dee Meeks. Marco, what were your thoughts about this movie? And also just talk to us about how your theater experience was. Was it busy? Was it empty? How was the crowd?
I'll start with the crowd. It was a pretty packed theater. I saw it at Brendan in Vacaville, and it was about 75% full. And surprisingly enough, there were a lot of young teen. I know it's summer break, but for a franchise that's over 25, 26 years old, I was surprised the young crowd actually showed up for this movie. And a lot of them were teenagers, and I'm like, oh dang, okay, we got the young crowd. So yeah, it was pretty good receptive audience. The movie itself, I thought it was okay. I should have tempered my expectations, but with the return of the Wayans brothers, I was hoping they'd come back with a bit of a harder punch. I think most of the funny stuff actually happens in the trailer, and it kind of suffers again from just a bunch of skits stitched together. It sort of has a cohesive story because it's riffing off of Scream 5 for the most part, and it goes all the way as far back as Get Out, and I was like, oh, that's a reach for a reference, guys. Like, I know it's a fairly new movie, but still, that was a few years back.
Well, they had 25 years, right?
So some of the references hit, others don't, and I think it really suffers from that. I think if it had, again, more of a linear story, and if it just stuck to Scream 5, I think it probably would have been a little stronger. I think the beginning and the end is probably the funniest parts for me.
Okay. How about you, James? What were your thoughts? And how was your theater experience as well?
We had like kids in ours. Me and my
weird, right?
Fucking
like kids,
weird.
kids?
Yeah,
Children?
like I'm talking
like 5 years old kind of kids.
5, 6.
Yeah.
Like sitting on it for a few days now and just seeing much better films since I saw this movie. I didn't really like it, man. I mean, yes, like I said, I like the Wayans brothers, right? But if you look at the last couple comedies, not so great. So kind of kept up with that trend, I guess, honestly, in my opinion.
I mean, there's a Haunted House and a Haunted House 2, and I didn't care much of those films.
So, and I almost said they did those just because they were trying to make a scary movie, honestly. So,
right.
But for me specifically, I'm with Marco. I wanted them to come like a bit harder than what they did. Like, and I agree, all the funny parts are really in that trailer. There's not much. Yeah, there's some gross out humor they don't show in there, but there's a few parts in it. I don't know. It just felt like once again, guys, Doofy is the best character in this fucking movie again. I don't know if I have a problem, but the scene where he comes out with his little Nerf gun thing or his dart gun.
He actually shoots
laughing.
at this time.
I was laughing, okay? I don't know if I'm allowed to, or where she's like, oh, you're drooling a little bit, and he's just drooling, and I was like, but sometimes like
the little body camera.
Yeah, he has a body camera now, even though it's just a toy. And he comes out of retirement, and he thinks COVID was still going on, which I thought was
funny.
Kind of hilarious because he's like, "Fuck, what do I do with all this meat, canned meat and stuff?" And I don't know why. Kind of made me laugh for that one. That was probably it. I was just like, I wouldn't mind seeing a movie just Doofy, I guess, is what I'm getting at. I guess I don't know. But he made the movie work for me certain parts, but he's not in it the whole time. But every time he was on scene, I was like, I like this. So I don't know. It's a lot of retread of a lot of things too. I agree with you too. That it seems like a bunch of skits. There's a skit in here from Sinners where they go to a party and it doesn't make any sense why they're doing that at all.
No.
because I'm like,
Because they use the same characters also that
They
are
know
different
them.
characters. Yeah, it's weird.
You think it would have been funnier too.
yeah, but then they go around the house and like, oh, we can just go in this way, and then they go in. They're the same characters, Maggie. They're the same three
Yeah,
people.
the same people.
I don't know. They're
That's what
trying
I'm
to be
saying is like they almost treat them
weird.
like they're different people. Like they
yeah,
are the same
it's-
people, but they treat them
No.
like they're different.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. It's just a skit, really. That's all it is. It's a skit. Like, here's our sinner skit. We're gonna throw this in. They're gonna be those weird people. Like, oh, you sure? And it goes on too long.
Way too
And
long.
I will say this much: like, Marlon Wayans seems like he was one that really wanted to get back in this because I feel like he does the best job at everyone. I gotta say, Sean Wayans seems like he is like sleeping through this one, man. Like he didn't seem like, to me at least, guys. I don't know about you. He didn't seem like he wanted to be in this movie anymore, man. I could
No.
tell.
I agree.
'Cause he's not in it that much, by the way. When he is in it, it's like, oh, I guess I'll play the same guy I played 26 years ago. I guess
100% agree that Marlon Wayans is the one that put the most effort into it, other than Anna Faris.
Yeah. But outside of that, yeah, this is it. I'm struggling to even try to like think of certain things at this point for this one because they're all like blending together too for me. I'm just really burned out of Scary Movie. I think for the most part, this is a pretty forgettable film. So
Sure. How about you, Mikey? What are your thoughts?
I feel kind of the same way. I feel like this kind of feels a lot like 4 did, where it has funny parts in it, but they try to do so much. There's like so many films they're trying to spoof off of. I do like that they bring the characters back, but it just feels like a lot of skits again. There's not really anything to kind of grasp onto and kind of just kind of guide you through a storyline. There's just so many movies that they try to do something with, and I feel like they could just needed to kind of edit some of those out, maybe kind of expand on a little bit more. Don't linger on certain things. But like I said, the old characters, I like seeing them back there. They just didn't do too much with them. There's no really like stick out stuff that I'm like, oh yeah, this was pretty funny. Just nothing kind of lingers with you.
Yeah, I'm with you guys on this too. I mean, it's basically a Wayne's film from the first two to me. Like it just does. It's not cohesive. There's some jokes land, some, but a lot of it doesn't. There's a lot of skits. Like there's that dream sequence with Shorty, who has a K-pop Demon Hunters sequence, which was a surprise, and it was very well like put together.
Actually,
but it
wasn't bad.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad scene, but it's like out of nowhere, and it's like okay. And then there's what I did enjoy, and this is a complete aside from the main line of the movie, is the long leg sequence with
It's like
Damon
nothing.
Wayans.
It's so random.
Damon Wayans and Heidi Gardner, where they're just going through that whole sequence, which some of that was funny. I would have loved to see that. It reminded me of like Naked Gun or even like the Police Squad series, where if you just had that playing that straight, just did a bunch of random jokes, but not so subtle random jokes between the two of them. And then, of course, you have Chris Elliott playing shorthand, which was funny. But again, like you said, James, it's a callback to the previous film. So
He's barely in the movie though.
yeah, that's it. That's what I'm saying. Like that little section I thought was funny, but that has nothing to do with anything to do with the main plot. Like there's
I don't
no
know.
connection to it at all.
I realized they never came back to his character ever again. And I'm like, what was the point of even showing him? It's like what you
Just
guys
to be
said.
there.
It's just
Wasn't
skits.
in the trailer they show him in like the interrogation room though, like in Long Legs?
Yeah.
I think there's a cut scene for that, honestly.
No, it's in the movie. It's in there's mid credits.
Oh shit, me and Mike didn't stay.
There's like two big mid credit scenes.
I saw the Bros Ferracci thing. We left after that.
There's that one, and then there was another one that was the long legs thing.
I only saw the Brosferatu one.
Nope, I didn't see it. As soon as that one ended, we left.
Yeah, I didn't.
God
Because,
damn it.
dude, the after credits said there was only one anyway. So I was like,
there was
okay.
two. It happened a little bit after that Brosferatu thing. So,
But
yeah.
I think the jokes, you'd expect them. What made the first one, iconic is that they pushed the line on the jokes and they went all out on the jokes. And I feel like these jokes, for the majority of the part, they were still stuck in 2000. And I'm like, dude, you're supposed to push the threshold. Like you got to know where comedy is at right now.
Yeah.
And push that threshold. And that's what I thought they were going to do. And they didn't. It felt like they had one arm tied behind their back, truthfully.
Even like the Me Too thing when she brings that up, Gail, at one point, it's just like, it's so dated at this point to bring that up.
Yeah.
Dude.
This would have been something in like 2016, 2017.
Yeah.
It would have been much more relevant.
That's what I was thinking
These
too.
jokes are quite dated at this point.
Well, look at
That's what I
like
said.
last year or the year before, whenever Naked Gun came out, right? Like that remake felt elevated and like in the times, but still pays homage to like the original one. It just felt really clean, and this didn't really do that at all. So
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Well, what did you guys think about the meta stuff? Especially at the ending, there was a lot of like fourth wall breaking in this film, which I guess throws away the whole idea of like there's any plot with this, because I felt that basically Shorty and Ray were now the Wayans brothers, but Anna Faris and Regina Hall's characters were still Cindy and Brenda. So I'm like, I don't understand what wall we're breaking here. And there were some funny bits into it, especially with the introduction of Anthony Anderson coming back and Shaq coming in, and they couldn't afford Kevin Hart, which was hilarious. So, what did you guys think about that whole fourth wall breaking? Did that mean anything to you?
It was all right, but it was like, it's almost like them just, venting out their frustrations for the last, 25 years of like how they felt shorthanded with the whole thing and how this led to this. So it was kind of them showing like, fuck you to the Weinsteins. But
the Shaq joke was the funniest thing when they brought back the whole thing, and Dr. Phil again cutting the wrong foot off.
And then they kill their own kids at the end, right?
Yeah.
Said, fuck them kids.
Fuck the new generation. Fuck them kids.
Yeah. Which is kind of like, hey, we're not going to follow through with like this whole bringing in new blood kind of a thing, Although I got to say, the girl that plays Cindy's daughter did a really good job, honestly.
She did.
She actually looks like she could be Anna Faris's kid.
I thought it was, and I realized she only has a boy. I was like,
she only has a son.
Yeah.
She actually did a good job. I will say that much. Like, and there's subtle gags, like even in the film that work, like when they're in the beginning where like the Final Destination theme park. That might have been one of the funnier moments, honestly, where like just people dying behind them the whole time, just kind of showing
roller
like
coasters going crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
And the kid saying that I survived, I did it, and then
I did it, my coin, like for the last one, and then he just gets fucking destroyed. So
for me, again, it was the lean into the Scream 5 spoofs, because they're so good at riffing on those scenes. Like the hospital scene when Tuesday is trying to escape and stuff, and they're super high and they're going in super slow motion. That was freaking. But everyone else is going normal. And then I know James brought up Doofy, but Doofy's scene was freaking hilarious because it is just like Dewey's scene in it's Scream 5. And again, I think it's just because they're leaning hard into that spoof of Dewey. And the fact that, we're all happy Dewey came back and everything, but he still does stupid ass mistakes in the new movie. And it just kind of, that meta commentary, I think it worked for me, especially when he uses the little toy gun.
Bro, he died a hero, bro. I don't know what you're talking about.
Does he shit his pants when he dies?
He does.
That's why he said, I go poopy.
And the guy's like, she's like, you got to clean this up.
I was fucking dying.
The nurse is really funny, actually.
She's a Wayans too, by the way.
Yeah.
They're about the whole family, and it's great. Anything else stand out in this film? What about we've talked about the visuals on all the other films. Do you think that this elevated? I guess for the Wayans brothers, comparing to the original two films, do you feel like this is a much better looking movie?
Looks newer, obviously, because it's a modern movie. That's about it.
It's still not shot that well, though.
No.
If I really want to critique it, like, it's okay.
Again, editing's terrible. Yeah, the shots are...
Yeah, it's really jumpy. The whole time. I agree, Nabil. I know you've been on this editing gag this whole fucking review, but no, it makes sense, though, because, like, you could almost miss 30 minutes and, like, not really miss anything.
No.
You came back in, like, what happened? Nothing.
All right, well, let's go into our ratings and see what we wanted to give it overall. I'm going to start with you, Marco. What did you rate this film? Would you recommend it?
I give it 2.5 stars. It's not that great. There's still some funny aspects to it, but really, like we said, it's just a bunch of skits put together. Could have been better. If you do go see it, probably watch a matinee or just wait for streaming.
How about you, Mikey?
I also gave it 2.5. I do think there's some redeeming qualities. I still think it's a fun movie. There's some scenes that are funny. It's just not over the top, super funny. So if you temper your expectations, you'll be fine. I think you can watch this and be okay.
How about you, James?
I gave it 2.5, but now I'm thinking, I was like, do I really want to give it 2.5? Maybe. I mean, it's more like a 2 actually for me now. Now I'm thinking about it more. It's not very memorable. There's so much better movies out right now too, and I think this is like wait for streaming on this one.
Yeah, I gave this 2.5 stars. I feel like, as like you were saying, James, the longer I sit with it, the less I like it. But maybe that changes over time. Maybe I see it again on streaming or something. I'm not sure, but it's doing well. So there's going to be a sequel, I guess, to this maybe. So maybe they'll learn from that and make it a little bit better, or they'll do more of the same thing. Who knows? Yeah,
with that, I mean, we've gone through 1 through 6. I do want to ask you guys, like, what are your overall ratings of the movies? How would you go? Start with you, Bill.
My rankings would be Scary Movie 3, Scary Movie 2. I'm going to say Scary Movie 2000, and then Scary Movie 2026. Then Scary Movie 4, and then 5.
Gotcha. What about you, Mikey?
Same. 3, 2, 1, 6, 4, 5.
Yeah, that was fast. Okay, Marco?
Mine is 3, 1, 2, 6 or 2026, 4 and 5.
Fuck, mine might be the same as Marco's. It's definitely 3, the first one, and then 2 and 6 for me are almost interchangeable.
Mm-hmm.
So take that with a grain of salt. Then 4, then 1,000 other films, and then 5, probably.
Yeah.
So
sounds about
what did you
right.
guys overall? Did you guys like this? Did you not like this? How did the marathon? I'll go with you, Nabil. You look like you're ready to say something.
It's probably my least fun experience of their marathons that we've done, to be honest. The other ones, at least, I felt like there was some redeeming qualities. All of this stuff, I felt I could have just not watched this. I'd see a recap of it and then be able to talk through most of it. So yeah, I kind of remember this and been fine. I didn't have a good time with it.
What about you, Mikey?
Yeah, the only reason I didn't really like this one here, I mean, I enjoyed some of these movies, or some of them were pretty good, but overall, because they're all like skit based and not really like super storyline based, I think it was James and the other people, everybody else said it kind of really, but it's like they kind of merged together. So like I was thinking back, I was like, which one do I like? And I was remembering certain scenes from stuff like I'd seen number 2 the longest, or the most. So I just remembered most of those scenes more so than the other ones. But a lot of the movies just like kind of merged together. I didn't really, even though I just watched them with a couple of things and say I took some notes, I still just thought back and I was like, I don't remember when this scene happened. Was it 4 or was it 5? And it just got kind of mixed up.
You would know when it's 5.
Well, you know what I'm saying? Like, not just those ones specifically, but just the movies in general. It's like, when did they do this one? When did they do that one? I got the movies mixed up, and so it kind of made things a little rough.
Gotcha. What about you, Marco?
I thought I'd have more fun with this, truthfully. I was kind of hoping I would. And then my expectations were just a little too high. And then it might, then they just dropped significantly. This is rough. This was probably, I think I agree with Nabil. It's probably the worst marathon I've ever done. I think Fast and Furious marathon was better than this. And that one was a stretch. So
was it? See, that was fun for me.
I didn't mind that at all.
It was only a stretch because of how many movies there were.
That's true. Yeah.
That's why.
There's a lot. Yeah, there's a lot. And especially, you hadn't seen a lot of them. So for you, you're like, fuck is this shit?
I hadn't seen 4 or 5 of Scary Movie. So there you go.
You didn't miss too much.
I think I only saw the intro to 4 and then the ending because I slept through it when we rented it. Yeah, I just could think of much better marathons than this, probably.
Yeah, I mean, it sounded like a good idea at the time. And then, honestly, I was even thinking, like, after seeing the one on Friday, I was like, should I cancel this pod? Like, I was really close, guys. Like, I was like, dude, we might need to pivot. But then I was like, fuck, we put too much time into watching these fucking movies, man.
Part of me was hoping you would, especially after we saw Masters of the Universe.
So yeah.
I was like, please do a about face. And just,
honestly, we probably should have, but we don't back down from challenges. So
yeah, that's true.
So
although Master of the Universe could use the publicity,
that and Power Ballad, honestly.
And,
this was rough, guys. This was one of the more rougher ones. Like I said, even watching the first 2, I was like, fuck, I don't know if I got it in me to finish these out. And then when I saw that 5th one, I was like, oh, we've made a terrible mistake. I guess the good thing was about it that I realized like Scary Movie 3 is a lot better than I think realizing it, which I enjoyed. And then probably Officer Doofy again, once again. So I kind of was just kind of he was kind of like the angel in my eyes. So I was like, oh, sweet Doofy. Rest easy now. But yeah, we're not doing that one again. So that wraps up episode 226 of the Movie Pals podcast. Marco, let everyone know how they can keep up with us.
You can find us on every major podcast platform, so follow and listen wherever you like. For links to all our socials and more, head over to linktree/moviepalspod. That's linktr.ee/moviepalspod. And don't forget to smash that subscribe button and weather.
And check us out on TikTok at Movie Pals Pod for sneak peeks, quick takes, and behind-the-scene clips.
And coming up next, episode number 227, where we will be starting a new segment as well as doing a review of Supergirl.
If you enjoyed this episode, drop us a rating, share it with a friend. It helps us out a ton. Thank you for listening. This is the Movie Pals signing out.